Episode 8, The Great Garage Sale.
Saturday's sun turned the driveway into a griddle. Frank dragged a wobbling folding table across the concrete while Larson waddled behind, determined to lie down exactly where the table legs needed to go. Hudson floated around with his phone like a tiny documentary crew, whispering into the mic. Episode 8, he said. Today, an intervention disguised as a garage sale. Harry stepped out of the garage carrying a tower of dusty boxes. His hat was on, his shirt was blindingly bright, and his patience meter looked empty. He set the boxers down and rubbed his back. If a frog had wings, Harry said, eyeing the garage like it was a crime scene, it wouldn't bump his ass, but it'd still trip over your mom's ceramic clowns. Frank laughed. That an official engineering diagnosis, Papa. It's a safety hazard, Harry said, nodding toward the garage. I went in there for a screwdriver and came out with a rash and a snow globe from 1989. Ricky strolled up shirtless, flag tattoo grinning in the sun, lugging a stack of neon price stickers. Gentlemen, Operation Declutter, I brought ammo. He fanned the stickers like playing cards. Green means go cheap, red means, sorry ma. Frank glanced over his shoulder at the house. We better be fast. The queen of everything is gonna come outside, see her treasures on tables, and call a press conference. Harry blew out a long breath. Alright, tables here, and there. Get the junk, sorry. Collectibles, ordered glass stuff, old electronics, what even is this? And things Larson already tried to eat. Larson thumped his tail on a knitted afghan, then flopped until his jowls puddled. Frank pointed at a teetering lamp shaped like a pineapple. This has to go. What? Diane demanded from the porch, appearing as if conjured by blasphemy. Cigarette in one hand, the other planted on her hip. That lamp is classic. It's a fruit, Frank said, with a light bulb. It's hospitality, Diane snapped. Pineapples mean hospitality. Hospitality to dust, Ricky offered. Diane glared. Don't you start, bare chest. Frank raised an eyebrow. Mom, half this junk's not even yours. You just collect it. Diane puffed smoke like a dragon. People give me things, I'm polite, I accept. Harry chuckled, low and quiet. She accepted Mrs. Turner's entire china cabinet when they cleaned out her house. Didn't even want it. Just didn't want it going to waste. Frank groaned. That was 6 years ago. Still boxed up. Ricky pointed at a rusted bread machine. Didn't you also haul home 2 of these from that estate sale? One was free, Diane snapped. Yeah, so was tetanus, Frank muttered. Harry reached into a box and pulled out a velvet Elvis painting with water damage across the face. What about this? Looks like Elvis is crying. Diane snatched it away. That's collectible art. Looks like a sponge, Harry said flatly, setting it down. Hudson whispered to his phone. Episode 8. Welcome to Barton County's premier hoarding convention, featuring pineapples, dead peoples, china, and a bread machine uprising. Curate, don't exaggerate, Diane sniffed. And I set the prices. 3 grown men looked like they'd just been told Santa wasn't real. Harry coughed into his fist. We'll collaborate. Diane narrowed her eyes. Collaborate means don't sell my good things for a quarter. She flicked ash, then waved magnanimously. Carry on. She disappeared back inside to gather more inventory, and the 3 men exhaled like they'd just survived a tornado. By the time Diane returned arms loaded with framed puzzles, a bread maker still in the box, and a 12-pound bag of mismatched charging cables, the driveway had become a bazaar. The glass and questionable decor tables sparkled with vases, candy dishes, and figurines. The electronics and gremlins table hummed with old DVD players, a camcorder, and something with a satellite dish that looked like it could talk to Mars. Though what even is this? Blanket contained a bowling trophy with the name scratched off, 2 lava lamps, and a taxidermy squirrel that even Larson gave side-eye. Diane added her latest load with a grunt. Out spilled a boxed George Foreman grill still taped shut, a stack of AOL trial CDs, and a porcelain angel missing both wings. Angel's $1, she announced proudly. Frank tilted his head. Without wings, ain't that just a porcelain pedestrian? Harry deadpanned. More like a traffic cone. Ricky slapped a green sticker on it. 241 with Elvis crying. Diane dropped her cigarette in the yard and started pointing like an auctioneer. This vase, $30. This lamp, hospitality, $20. The bread maker, $50. Bread makers from a time when we thought low-carb was a rumor, Frank muttered. Ricky, behind Diane, exchanged the bread maker sticker for a green 8. Harry, behind Ricky, exchanged it again for 5. Diane turned around, suspicious. Did that just lose $45? Frank pointed at Hudson's phone. Comments say the market dipped. Diane looked at the empty street. What comments? Economy comments, Frank said. Harry added, market's bearish on bread. Ricky gave 2 thumbs up to the camera. Finance. The first wave of yard salers arrived like migrating birds, sun hats, fanny packs, iced coffees. Ricky was running his tables like an auctioneer. DVDs $2, vinyls $3, or I'll kiss your dog for free. Frank plugged in a lava lamp for a customer. The wax didn't move. It's philosophical, Frank said. How much for philosophical? $2. Sold. Larson helped in his own way, whining every time someone touched Diane's ceramic clowns, scaring customers into putting them back. Hudson whispered, Larson's basically a quality control officer. Then it happened. Ricky spotted an older lady shifting on her feet, clearly tired of standing. With salesman instincts kicking in, he waved toward the porch. Ma'am, I'll even throw in this fine cushion for $1 premium comfort. Barton County's finest. Limited edition. The woman smiled, handed him $1, and walked off with Diane's cushion tucked proudly under her arm. Diane stormed outside just in time to see her porch bare. Where the hell is my cushion? Ricky grinned like a man who just sold the Mona Lisa. Supply and demand, Mamaw, market's hot. Her cigarette trembled. Boy, if you don't get that cushion back. Harry didn't even look up from his jar. Reckon it'll cost $2 now. The whole driveway roared with laughter. Diane muttered something about idiots with no taste and stomped back inside. By noon, Diane was red in the face. Ricky was red from sunburn, and Frank was red from embarrassment. Then Hudson dug into a box and pulled out something shiny. Dad, he said softly, check this out. It was a redanned white die-cast NASCAR car, number 26 on the side. Frank froze, his chest squeezed. Not selling, he said firmly, quicker than anyone expected. Diane sniffed. It's a toy car. Frank shook his head. It's not a toy, it's a reminder. For a beat, even Diane didn't argue. Ricky leaned in with a grin. If I had a car like that, I'd duct tape a lawn chair to the roof and drive it to Lake Barton. Frank chuckled. You'd flip it in the first turn. Not with Larson as pit crew, Ricky said. Hudson zoomed in on the dog snoring on a pile of towels. Pit crew's asleep on the job. By 2 o'clock, the what even is this? Blanket had been reduced to a bowling trophy and the squirrel. A mom literally paid Frank $2 just to box the squirrel and hide it from her kid. Harry had sold his wooden project twice. The first buyer brought it back. The second buyer declared it a rustic male caddy, and Harry puffed up with pride. Mrs. Kincaid from the HOA bought a candy dish. Diane accused her of highway robbery. Frank counted the cash and grinned. Well, fellas, looks like we got just enough to buy pizza. That's still printing, Ricky said proudly. 20 minutes later, 3 boxes of greasy pepperoni and sausage were spread across the folding table. Paper plates sagged under the weight. Ricky had 2 slices in each hand. Harry worked on his third piece, slow and steady. Frank leaned back, savoring his first bite like he hadn't eaten since breakfast. Even Larson got a slice, though. He inhaled it so fast it was gone before anyone blinked. Hudson, filming, whispered, budget gourmet, courtesy of Mamaw's Treasures. Don't call M treasures, Frank said through a mouthful. Call M pizza coupons. Harry nodded, deadpan. Best coupon I ever ate. Ricky wiped his chin. If we sell one more bread maker, we might even afford wings next time. They all laughed, grease shining on their fingers, the garage strangely quiet now that so much space had been cleared. That's when Diane finally looked back into the garage. Her cigarette froze in midair. For the first time in years, the floor was visible. The mower wasn't buried. The shelves weren't groaning. Her face twisted. Where the hell's my stuff? Frank, cautious, lifted his hands. Mom, we sold the clutter. Clutter, Diane's voice went sharp. Those were collectibles. That lamp, that bread maker, those candy, dishes gone, you vultures, sold my treasures for pocket change. Ricky grinned. Correction? I sold your cushion for $1. Best deal of the day. Diane spun on him like a storm siren. You little... Frank cut in before she could finish. Mom, you gotta stop. This isn't about cushions or lamps. It's about the garage and about you dragging home every broken toaster in Barton County. Harry sipped from his jar.com as ever, and half of M came from dead people's houses. Diane froze, cigarette trembling. I give things a second life. You give them a parking spot, Frank said, and then we trip over them for 10 years. Diane's face went red. She stubbed her cigarette out so hard, it snapped. Fine, y'all think you're comedians. I'll take what's left and keep it safe from you jackals. She gathered the last of her treasures, a vase, 2 puzzles, and what looked like a bread maker manual, then reached over. snatched one of the pizza boxes, and stormed into the house. Screen door slamming behind her. The driveway went quiet except for Larson snoring on the Afghan. Frank exhaled. Well, that went about as smooth as expected. Ricky cracked open 2 beers, handing one to Frank. 2 garage sales and broken families. Harry raised his mason jar and deadpanned. Guess we'll have to put her on the what even is this table next year. The guys busted out laughing. Even Hudson snorted behind the camera. Frank pulled out his phone, scrolled for a second, then tapped play. Sammy Kershaw's yard sale drifted out of the little speaker, twangy and bittersweet. He leaned back in a lawn chair, sipping slow. Ricky hummed off-key, Harry whistled harmony, and for a while, the 4 of them just sat in the fading sunlight, laughing, drinking, and letting the mess of the day settle. Larson rolled over and barked once, perfectly on beat. Hudson whispered into the mic one last time. 1 sale, 1 slammed screen door. 1 family learning that letting go isn't always mutual. This was life at Frank's place.